Hello and welcome back to the Villa View. We've been teasing for a while now on Twitter about a secret project that we had upcoming. We're pleased that we can now announce that today we went down to Black's in London and sat down with John Gregory for an in-depth look at his time as player and manager of Aston Villa Football Club. It was a privilege for the Villa View to go down and meet him. We're planning on uploading this interview over several weeks in several parts. Because this is such a big deal to us, we decided that we couldn't go the night without releasing a little preview clip for our Villa View subscribers. So sit back and enjoy John Gregory talking about when he first found out he could become the manager of Aston Villa Football Club.
I got a phone call from Marion Stringer, who was Doug Ellis' secretary. She calls me Johnny, and she was only one of the very few people that called me Johnny. And when I picked up the phone, she said, "Hello, Johnny." I thought, well, that's Marion. What are you doing? Why are you calling me? You're Doug Ellis' secretary. I couldn't work out why she was calling me. So obviously she said, "Have you heard the news?" And I said, "What news? What are you on about?" And I hadn't heard the news, obviously. Anyway, cut a long story short, I found out sort of within an hour that Brian had left. And why are you ringing me? And I thought Brian wanted me to come back as a coach. But he didn't ask me. He was a bit embarrassed to ask me back. And when I spoke to Steve, he said to me, "Have you heard the news?" And I said, "No." I said, "What's happened?" And then he told me that Brian had left. So then I thought, that idea had gone out. Well, if Brian's left, what are you doing? Why do you want to talk to me? And then he told me, he said, "We want you to come back." And I said, "What as?" Well, I still couldn't work out why would you ever want to talk to me about anything? And he said, "We want you to come back." And I said, "Well, what as?" He said, "As manager." And I said, "Oh, for how long?" Thinking it was like, just come back for a couple of weeks until we get somebody decent. So I really did. I really thought, "Oh, you want me to come back for a couple?" Well, I can't, because I'm sort of manager of Wickham. I can't just suddenly come back for a couple of weeks, let you get a manager. And so all these things were going around in my mind. And then I said, "Well, how long?" I actually said to him, "How long for?" And he said, "Forever. Until you, whatever." And I went, what as a manager?" And he went, "Yeah." So it was still like it was going over my head. I still could not believe it. I really couldn't believe what I was hearing. I said, "Look, let's speak later. I've got this game. I'm manager of Wickham, and my priorities really are to focus on that." Well, could I focus on it? Could I? Bugger, it's just this thing, and I can't tell anybody. I can't speak to anybody about what's actually happening. And I went home that night, and I'm going to speak at 8 o'clock the next morning. And I can honestly say, sitting here, this is the only night ever in my life that I've never had 1 second of sleep. I'm thinking about being the manager of Aston Villa the following morning. And I never slept 1 second that night. I was just awake the whole time, thinking of the consequences, thinking of actually being the manager, and obviously now I think, they got Liverpool Saturday, and it's like, why can't it be somebody that's not Liverpool? They got Michael Owen plays for them, and obviously the next day I got installed in the following afternoon, February the 25th. It was actually February the 25th. That afternoon at 5 o'clock we had a press conference in one of the suites on the North Stand. It was just a huge shock to me, as it was to everybody else, I think, as well. I was excited about it, incredibly excited about it, very honoured, and I knew it was a huge job. I mean, obviously I knew the place inside out. Yeah. I knew everybody. I was just able to put like a comfy pair of old slippers on, just coming back into the place. And I never even had a meeting with the players. I used to walk past their dressing room every day and say, "Don't be late." I always used to shout, "Don't be late." Because if you were late onto the training field, as a coach, it was my responsibility to find people and make sure I got the money off them, So I can remember, I never even had a meeting with the players because I knew everyone. And I just walked past the room as the manager now. I just said, "Don't be late," because we started at 10:30, and that was it. And we just went out and got on with training as if I hadn't been away for 16 months, And we just got back to work, but obviously we had to get a winning team back on the field. So my first job, this was Thursday afternoon by now. My first training session was in Thursday afternoon, and it went on from there.
We hope you enjoyed this preview clip. We can assure you that there's much more to come. Some great stories and some great anecdotes from John Gregory, so it really will be worth watching when we release the first part at the beginning of February. If you could subscribe to us, that'd be great. Also give this video a like if you enjoyed it. Comment below on your memories of John Gregory. What are you hoping that he may reveal in the forthcoming interview series? And as always, up the Villa.
If you enjoyed that video, why not watch another one? Click the video choices on screen now to go and watch them in full. And don't forget to subscribe. Click on our logo there on the left and press subscribe. Easy.